Submissive urination in dogs. What is it and what can you do to stop it? If you have a dog that unfortunately suffers from submissive urination, you know exactly what it is. It's a behavior in which a dog pees as a response to fear or anxiety. It's more commonly seen in puppies who are starting to kind of gain that confidence and are still a little bit timid, but can also occur in adult dogs. In the case of my beagle, Molly, she is a rescue dog. She was abused when she was younger, and now sometimes out of fear, she will submissively urinate. If she thinks, for example, somebody is angry with her, if she's done something she's not supposed to do, sometimes she will submissively urinate. So because submissive urination is a fear-based behavior, trying to interrupt it, which is the advice that I've given. If you've watched my videos on how to house train a dog, my advice is to interrupt the urination, bring them outside and show them where they're supposed to go to the bathroom. But in this case, interrupting while it's happening won't help. It's not a behavior that you're teaching your pet to urinate somewhere else. It's that you're trying to teach them, build that confidence that they're not so fearful or so anxious that they go to the bathroom. So actually trying to house train them or following steps to house train a dog isn't going to work in this particular aspect. Unlike with normal house training, where you would show them where they're supposed to go immediately after an accident, that can help a puppy that's learning associate the outdoors with using the bathroom. In the case of submissive urination, this is an opportunity for you to determine what your dog is scared of or anxious about and try to work on building confidence around that area. So you may be wondering, is this submissive urination, especially in the case of puppies or a dog that you recently adopted, is this just a dog that needs to be house trained? So the signs of submissive urination, if your dog cowers when they urinate, and if they do it when there's loud voices or angry voices, when a new person approaches them, when they're being greeted for the first time by a person or an animal, when there's a disturbance like thunder or sirens, something loud like that. If you dropped, say, like a pan on the floor, a cookie sheet on the floor, and made that loud noise. As I mentioned, you may also notice that submissive posture. The dog's cowering or crouching, tails tucked. You may see them roll over on their side and urinate. Those are all submissive postures that would clue you into the fact that this is actually submissive urination and not just a house training issue. One thing that's important to know is that if your dog urinates when they're being greeted by a new person or a new dog, when they're getting really excited and they're playing, but they don't exhibit that submissive posture, then they have a different behavior, and that's called excitement urination. If somebody new comes to your house and they get really excited and they're wagging, they might be jumping up, but they also urinate, that's excitement urination. So the real key to submissive urination, being able to tell what that is that submissive posture and not the excitement or the fun that they would be having if they were urinating when they were excited. So why does this happen? That's one of the first questions that pet parents ask me. Why do dogs urinate in submission? Dogs who behave this way are usually shy, anxious, timid. As I mentioned with my beagle, they may have a history of physical or verbal abuse. If a dog lives in a home where the guidelines are consistently changing, if one person is strict and expects certain things and the other person lets a lot of this go, this can increase the stress level of a dog and lead to submissive urination. So there are a number of reasons why your dog may do this, and in a lot of cases it's different on a case-by-case basis. So how do we help our dogs stop doing this behavior? If your dog has just recently started it and it's abnormal for them, consider talking to your veterinarian, because it may actually be a medical issue. If your dog's been fine the entire time you've had them, there's been no signs of submissive urination, and now all of a sudden they're doing it, it could be a sign of, say, like a kidney infection, urinary tract infection, and the cowering is actually just your dog responding to the pain of the medical condition. If this isn't something new, if your dog tends to be more shy and timid and you're starting to notice this behavior in a new dog, or this is something that your dog has been experiencing for a while and you're just finally trying to correct the behavior and get a handle on it, You're going to want to build their confidence through positive reinforcement-based methods. And that's the only way really that you can help this particular behavioral issue. Keep their routine and environment as consistent as possible and advocate for them in situations that might spark the behavior. So for example, if your dog urinates when strangers bend over and greet them, ask people, they should be asking you to pet your dog, to greet your dog first of all, and just ask them to keep their distance and maybe toss a treat for your pup or talk in a nice soft voice from a distance. Things like that can try to help avoid those situations and then help your dog, positively associate new people instead of instantly getting scared when they see someone new. With people your dog is more comfortable with, teach your friends and family to approach your dog appropriately. They should avoid direct eye contact, keep their voices calm and low, get down on the dog's level by bending at the knees rather than kind of leaning over the dog. That's more intimidating than it is to bend and allow the dog to come to you. If the dog approaches them, if they're down at their level and the dog goes over to them, make sure that they pet them under the chin or maybe on the chest rather than putting their hand over the top of the head, because that sometimes can be intimidating to a dog as well. Gradually expose your dog to new people and new situations and work to ensure that those experiences are positive and happy by always carrying treats with you. You want to make sure, in this instance, if your dog is timid around new people, new animals, praise, talking to them, getting excited, that's not gonna help. But a high value treat, something they love to have, that's going to help reinforce that this is good, you're doing what you should be doing, and kind of put those pieces together for your pup. Never force your dog to perform a behavior in any kind of training. This is key, but particularly in working through the process or the issue of submissive urination. If your dog is noticeably uncomfortable, create distance between them and the thing that they're afraid of immediately. If your dog is uncomfortable around another animal, another person, make sure you create distance if at all possible. Completely eliminate odors where your dog submissively urinates. So inside your home, if there's the smell of urine, that triggers the dog to urinate in that spot, similar to if your dog has a spot outside where they always like to go. That's like their bathroom area, and you don't want them to have a bathroom area inside your home. So you can click the link below this video. There are tips to remove the stains and odor from carpeting and upholstery if that's an issue, if your dog does it in your home frequently. Finally, do not punish or scold your dog for submissive urination. This is going to make the problem worse. As I mentioned, this is something that happens because the dog is stressed, anxious, scared. So punishing them is only going to fuel that fire. It'll take time to condition your dog to respond more appropriately to stimulation. It could take months or even years depending on the dog's history. If this is a dog that's been abused for many years before they came to you, this isn't a habit that you're going to break after a few weeks or a few months. This is something that's going to take years, and hopefully, gradually, the episodes of submissive urination will become farther and farther apart, and you'll get to a point where it doesn't happen at all. But depending on the pet's history, that is going to be different on a case-by-case basis. To get the best results as quickly as possible, you can also consult a professional trainer that has experience with submissive urination. If this is something that you don't feel comfortable doing yourself, or it's something that you want to manage as quickly as possible, definitely call some local trainers and find somebody who has experience with this particular problem.